I'd like to share with you just a taste of what we've been playing with lately. Does that sound like fun? I'm going to keep asking you these questions this whole time. Does that sound like fun? Okay. First, let's start with the New York Times. Now, as you know, New York Times is a leading global multimedia information company. It enhances society by creating and collecting and distributing high-quality news and information. And if you're like me, that means you sit down every Sunday morning and read the Times. But I also want news throughout my day during the work week. But I don't really ever have the time to sit down and read a newspaper. What really works for me, and what we've found is a great experience on Glass, is getting headlines throughout the day that are there whenever I look for them. And that's what we built. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Again, I'm doing this fancy demo thing. It'll take me a second to set this up. Cool. So here is a bundle of news that I got from the New York Times right before I got up on stage. It's an article about the Harlem Shake. And you'll notice it has the curl in the upper right-hand corner there, that fold. If I tap on this item, I get a bundle of all these different headlines and rich images. And if I tap on any one of these, I can get a card option for read aloud. This is really great for me, actually, because I can hear it. Okay, so now the cool thing about that is that I typically wouldn't do that in front of an audience, listen to a news article, but I thought it'd be fun. But I would do that when I'm walking in between meetings, or I'm going for a short walk to take a break. Because then I can kind of look at the world around me, and I'm also hearing something about what's going on in the greater world beyond me. Okay, so let's take a look at the detailed flow there. What the New York Times is doing is they're inserting a timeline card. In fact, they're inserting several timeline cards, and they're setting a few properties in there. They're using the rich HTML, so that it displays with these beautiful photos and headlines. They're creating the speakable text, which is a little bit different than I see on the screen. What they're giving me is a summary of the story. So I can see the headline if I want, and I can have the whole summary read aloud to me. And they're adding the read aloud card option, so that I can actually choose to hear it. And finally, they're setting the bundle ID on each of these so that every hour, which is what we've been playing with, every hour I get a new bundle of news items. And the cool experience here is that as I'm going about my day, I might see that this comes in and take a look at the news right there, or maybe I'm waiting at the bus stop and I can see the latest articles. So let's go through the guidelines one by one. There's 4 of them, remember. First, designed for Glass. What's cool about this is it's simple, it's there when I want it, and I'm able to have this read aloud to me so I can go about my day. It doesn't get in the way. If at any point I miss one of these bundles, that's fine. The world keeps generating news. That doesn't stop. So I can just see the next one. It's up to date with fresh data. So New York Times is really great about publishing that news throughout the day as it becomes relevant, and then delivering to me every hour the top news stories right then. And then finally, avoiding the unexpected. And this is really easy. I'm getting the news that I expect regularly. In fact, we're trying out this other flow that's really great as well, where you get breaking news. And that just can happen right away, and I get a notification. And with Glass, using the head gestures, I can just look up, and I can see that breaking news. And the New York Times is already really great about delivering breaking news to users when it's relevant, when it's actually breaking and important, and otherwise just putting it into the news cycle. Okay, let's do